Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryder, and this is your beginner's guide to Baptiste. In this video, we're going to go over the strengths, weaknesses, abilities, and playstyle of Baptiste so that you can kind of jump into quick play and some early competitive and kind of understand how he works and not going in completely blind. Keep in mind that this is a beginner's guide. It's not an advanced guide or anything like that. It's just a way to get you started and kind of understand how he works. It takes a lot of practice to really master some of these heroes. So, you'll need to play some hours into him and kind of really understand the niches and the way that he functions. This is just kind of give you a working base and an understanding on how he functions and some of the strengths and weaknesses to him. Before we get started, please, I would appreciate it if you go down, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, check the description down below where my Twitch channel is, where I stream pretty regularly on there, and I will hopefully see you guys on there. But without further ado, let's jump into Baptiste. So Baptiste is a support hero. As a support hero, your primary job is to keep your team alive. You're a healer at the end of the day. Your primary job is to heal your team. And Baptiste has a couple different tools to keep his team alive and heal them. Support heroes also all have some sort of gimmick or tools to support their team in other ways as well. And Baptiste has quite a few, and we're going to jump into them. So his main thing is his primary fire, which is his biotic launcher. It has two things, primary fire and his secondary fire. His primary fire is a 3-round burst gun that he can deal damage to the team from a distance, or to the enemy from a distance. Headshots obviously do more, and it's a good way to kind of just get a little bit of value, maybe get some cheap picks. You see somebody low health, you can just pick them off real quick as Baptiste. It's not anything to knock your socks off. You're not going to top the damage meters or anything, but you might get a couple of good picks. But his secondary fire is his healing, his healing projectile. When he lobs this down, it's like a healing grenade, basically. He throws it down, and each time he fires it, he heals his team. Okay, anybody caught in the blast is healed. Keep in mind, you got to shoot it at them, and it's not like a large proximity, so it's got to be pretty well close to them. Not crazy close, but like close enough. So that's his primary and his secondary and his primary healing output. He also has his left shift ability, which is a large self-heal and AoE heal to everybody around him. It has a 13-second cooldown, but it's a good emergency heal if you're getting focused, or if there's a lot of incoming damage, you can go ahead and you can just pop the left shift button and mass heal everybody. And then probably one of his most useful abilities is his immunity field. Which is where you throw this little disc down, and everybody within that circle is completely immune from dying. They cannot die while they're in it. It only lasts for a few seconds, but it can save people from getting killed from things. This thing has an 18-second cooldown, so you want to use this very reserved. Like, you want to save this for, like, oh my god, a Junkrat tire's coming in, or oh my god, a Demon Bomb's coming in. You know, things like that. Things that are going to, like, wipe your team. That's whenever you should throw out that. You can use it in, like, emergency, oh my god, I'm being pressured situations, but keep in mind, in a team fight, any DPS worth their lick of salt that's trying to kill you or trying to pressure and win a team fight, especially in the higher elos, if they're facing off against the Baptiste, they are trying to force you to use that immunity barrier. Especially if they have an ultimate, they're going to try to force that immunity barrier out of you so that they know it's down for 18 seconds and they can ult without having it canceled out. So keep that in mind and be very smart about deploying this. One thing to keep in mind, when you deploy it, this little disc here is targetable and destroyable. So if they're smart, they'll attack it and destroy it, and the immunity barrier will go down. It doesn't have a lot of health. One thing to kind of counteract that problem, if once you get a little bit more used to it, used to Lucio and the placement of the immunity barrier, you can throw it like out of the line of sight, and I did a bad job at that, but out of the line of sight of the target to where the zone is still there, but the disc is kind of hidden behind cover a little bit, so that it's a little bit harder for the enemy team to target it. So that's kind of a little bit of a tip there. Try to throw your immunity barrier where the disc is not easily targetable by the enemy team, because they're smart. Most of the time they're going to be smart enough to target that thing, burn it down, and then they're going to be able to do whatever they want. And you know, an immunity barrier that just gets destroyed immediately is basically useless. And then, of course, he has his Exo Boost. You hold the left control. I don't know what the thing is for console. I apologize. But you hold the left control button down, and you see a little thing that's charging up there under my crosshairs. That is basically your jump boost. You hold that down, and then you hit the jump button, and woo, you can jump up in the air. Good way to get into some high ground, things like that. Or if you're getting focused by, like, if somebody starts to focus you or something, you can just jump up in the air to get away from them, get to a high ground so that you can peel back to your teammates, stuff like that. It's just basically his escape route. And then, of course, you have your ultimate, which is your amplification matrix. Your amplification matrix, when you hit it, you have this little square targeting thing that pops up. As soon as you pick your location, it will spawn this little zone. And then anybody, your teammates, yourself, anybody who fires through this thing at the enemy team, their damage is amplified when it is shot through it. As you can see, Baptiste's damage output went friggin' nutty there. That's a good thing to use. Let's say Roadhog is about to pop Whole Hog. Bastion is in turret form. Orisa is just popping off with her machine gun fire. Things like that. The amplification matrix can completely carry in a team fight if your team is coordinated enough to shoot through it and you place it in a good spot. Really sucks whenever you place it in a bad spot, though. But like, it's a very useful ability, but you got to get used to where you place it. So those are all of Baptiste's abilities. As far as strengths and weaknesses, I've already given you a couple of tips and tricks in terms of, you know, placing your immortality barrier, you know, behind cover, you know, being able to place your amplification matrix in good places, things like that. As far as strengths and weaknesses, Baptiste is actually, he's a long-range healer, so he really thrives well whenever he is paired with targets that are at a distance. So your Roadhogs, you know, your Roadhogs, your Reinhardts, your Divas, Winstons, you know, because these healing labs, they go pretty good. As far as like strengths damage output wise, I mean, your primary job is not damage output, but you know, Baptiste can get some pretty good value out of focusing down a Pharah if your hit scans are having trouble with it. Same with like an Echo, any low health healer or low health healers or DPS. You know, as you can see, Tracer here gets dropped after a couple of rounds. So, you know, always be looking for a way, if you see that your team is topped off and healed up, look for a way to maybe get a cheap pick here. You see someone low health that that's trying to peel away, you just drop them real quick as Baptiste. These are things that'll help you win a team fight and differentiate you from getting a win or a loss. One thing that you'll hear me say in a lot of these support videos, as a support hero, play your covers. That's the biggest tip and trick I can give you. Play your corners. Don't be out in the middle of BFE and just like, oh hey, here I am. I'm just gonna heal. No, you want to kind of be, you know, play your corners here. Shoot from a distance. You know, especially as Baptiste, you don't have to be right next to your teammates to get value out of your heals. Obviously, your secondary one does, but as far as your ranged one, if you just need some random heals, you can do that from a distance. So play your corners. That way you can't get hooked. You can't get picked off by a Widow or a Hanzo. It's a little bit harder to pick you off because, again, your healing and your support is what's going to keep your team fight going and allow your team to get capitalization in a team fight. A lot of the time team fights come down to which supports are able to keep the fight going longer. But anyway, that is your beginner's guide to Baptiste. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, please feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll answer them as quick as I can. Hopefully you guys liked the video and I hope it helped you guys out. Please check out my Twitch channel in the description down below, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Peace out. Bye.